Have you ever felt like something is stirring inside you, like you're on the edge of something extraordinary, but you can't quite put your finger on it? Like you're waiting for the universe to reveal its plans, but all you can do is sense the shift, without fully understanding what's coming next. If you're a chosen one, this feeling is not just in your imagination, it's real. It's the universe preparing you for a transformation that will change everything. But before this transformation takes place, there are spiritual signs, subtle, powerful, and deeply personal, that begin to show up in your life. These signs are the universe's way of communicating with you, guiding you, and ensuring you're ready for what's to come. And today, we're going to talk about those signs. Let me ask you something: have you been paying attention? Because the signs are always there, but the question is whether you're truly seeing them. As chosen ones, we're often so caught up in our day-to-day lives that we miss the whispers of the universe. But when you begin to notice these signs, they stop feeling random. They start to feel like pieces of a larger puzzle, one that's designed to awaken your higher purpose. And trust me, once you recognize them, you'll realize that the universe has been speaking to you all along. One of the first signs you'll notice is a deep sense of discomfort. It's not just physical discomfort, it's a spiritual unease, a restlessness that you can't quite shake. You might feel stuck, like you're outgrowing the life you're living, the people you're surrounded by, or even the version of yourself you've always known. This discomfort isn't meant to hurt you. It's a catalyst. It's the universe nudging you out of your comfort zone, forcing you to confront the parts of your life that no longer serve you. And yes, it's painful, but transformation is never easy. Think about a seed breaking through the soil. It has to crack open before it can grow. That's what's happening to you. You're being cracked open so that your higher self can emerge. But here's the thing: discomfort is just the beginning. As your transformation approaches, the universe will start sending you synchronicities, those strange, serendipitous moments that feel too perfect to be coincidences. Maybe you keep seeing the same numbers everywhere: -111, 555, or 777. Or maybe you keep running into the same concept, the same idea over and over again, as if the universe is trying to hammer a message into your soul. These synchronicities are no accident. They're the universe's way of getting your attention, of reminding you that you're on the right path. Pay attention to them. Write them down. Ask yourself what they might mean. Because often, the answers you're looking for are hidden within these moments. Let me ask you, when was the last time you felt truly connected to yourself? Because another sign of transformation is the sudden and intense need to go inward. You might find yourself pulling away from the noise of the world, social media, toxic relationships, meaningless distractions. Instead, you'll feel drawn to solitude, to stillness, to silence. This can be confusing at first, especially if you've always been someone who thrives on connection and external validation. But this is not a withdrawal, it's a recalibration. The universe is inviting you to reconnect with your soul, to listen to the whispers of your intuition. Because the answers you seek are not out there, they're within you. And the only way to access them is to create space for them to emerge. At the same time, your emotions might start to feel more intense, more overwhelming. This can be one of the hardest signs to deal with, because it feels like everything is bubbling to the surface all at once: old wounds, buried fears, unresolved pain. You might find yourself crying for no reason, or feeling anger, sadness, or even joy in ways you can't explain. This emotional intensity is not a breakdown, it's a breakthrough. It's your soul clearing out everything that no longer fits, everything that would hold you back from stepping into your higher self. Let it happen. Don't fight it. Feel everything deeply, because your emotions are not your enemy, they're your guide. And then there's the sense of being watched. I know this sounds strange, but let me explain. As you approach your great transformation, you might start to feel like there's a presence around you, like someone or something is observing your journey. This isn't paranoia. It's the universe, your guides, your ancestors, or higher energies keeping a close eye on you. They're watching because they know you're on the verge of something significant. They're watching because your transformation is so important, not just for you, but for the collective. This presence is here to support you, to guide you, and to remind you that you're not alone, even when it feels like you are. So, let me ask you one more question before we continue. Are you ready to embrace these signs? Are you ready to see the discomfort, the synchronicities, the solitude, the emotions, and the unseen presence for what they truly are, divine messages meant to prepare you for your greatness? Because this is just the beginning. The signs will only grow stronger, louder, and more undeniable as your transformation approaches. And the more you pay attention, the more you'll realize that the universe is not just preparing you, it's rooting for you. When the spiritual signs begin to intensify, when everything around you feels like it's unraveling, you might find yourself wondering if something has gone terribly wrong. Life can suddenly feel chaotic, unpredictable, and overwhelming. But what if I told you that this chaos is not random? What if I told you that this storm in your life is actually the universe's way of preparing you for your great transformation? As a chosen one, the path to your higher self isn't always smooth. Sometimes it requires the dismantling of everything you once knew. The destruction you experience isn't a punishment, it's a clearing. The spiritual storm is here to make room for the new, the powerful, and the divine version of yourself that is waiting to emerge. Chaos is one of the most misunderstood spiritual signs. It's easy to label it as bad, to resist it, or to question why things seem to be falling apart. But the universe doesn't create chaos to harm you, it creates chaos to awaken you. Think of it like a forest fire. On the surface, it looks destructive, but in reality, it's nature's way of clearing out the old and making space for new growth. The same thing happens in your life. The relationships that no longer serve you, the beliefs that hold you back, the situations that keep you stuck, all of these things are being burned away so that you can step into your higher purpose. But let me ask you something. How do you respond when life feels out of control? Do you cling to the familiar, or do you trust that the chaos has a deeper purpose? Because your answer to this question will determine how quickly you move through the storm. If you resist the chaos, if you try to hold on to what's crumbling, you'll only prolong the process. But if you lean into it, if you surrender to the flow, you'll find that the storm isn't here to destroy you, it's here to transform you. One of the most challenging aspects of the spiritual storm is the sense of loss that comes with it. You might lose people, opportunities, or even parts of yourself that you once thought were essential. This can feel devastating, like the ground is being pulled out from under you. But here's the truth: everything you lose during this time is something you don't need for the next chapter of your journey. The universe never takes away anything without giving you something greater in return. It's clearing the path so that you can move forward unburdened, free to step into the fullness of who you are meant to be. Trust the process, even when it feels like everything is falling apart. Another thing that happens during this storm is that your triggers will surface. Old wounds, past traumas, and deeply buried fears will come to light in ways you can't ignore. This can be one of the hardest parts of the storm because it feels like you're reliving pain you thought you'd left behind. But this isn't a regression, it's a release. The universe is bringing these things to the surface so that you can finally heal them once and for all. You can't carry this baggage into your transformation. It's too heavy, so the storm forces you to face it, to feel it, and to let it go. And as painful as this process can be, it's also deeply liberating. With every wound you heal, you reclaim a piece of your power. Let me ask you, what are you still holding on to that no longer serves you? What beliefs, fears, or attachments are keeping you from stepping into your higher self? Because the storm will continue until you answer these questions. The chaos is here to push you to let go, to trust, and to step into the unknown. And let's be honest, stepping into the unknown is terrifying, but it's also where the magic happens. It's where you discover parts of yourself you didn't even know existed. It's where you find your strength, your courage, and your clarity. Another aspect of the storm is the sense of isolation that often comes with it. You might feel like no one understands what you're going through, like you're walking this path alone. And in many ways you are. Transformation is an intensely personal journey, one that requires you to face yourself in ways that others can't do for you. But here's the beautiful thing about isolation: it forces you to rely on your inner guidance. It drives you to connect with the divine, to strengthen your intuition, and to trust that you are being guided even when you can't see the full picture. And then, just when the storm feels like it might break you, something miraculous happens. The chaos begins to settle. The pieces of your life start to rearrange themselves in ways you couldn't have planned. New opportunities come your way. New people enter your life, and most importantly, you begin to feel a sense of clarity and purpose that wasn't there before. This is the gift of the storm. It strips away everything that isn't meant for you so that you can finally see what is. So, let me ask you one final question before we move on. Can you trust the storm? Can you trust that the chaos in your life is here to serve you, not harm you? Because the moment you embrace the storm, the moment you stop fighting it, is the moment you begin to transform. The universe isn't trying to break you, it's trying to rebuild you. And when the storm passes, you'll realize that it didn't just clear your path, it revealed it. There comes a moment in every chosen one's journey when the chaos begins to settle and something profound starts to shift within you. It's subtle at first, like the first glimmer of dawn after a long, dark night. And yet, this moment is monumental. It's the awakening, the point where you begin to see yourself and the world around you in a completely new way. But how do you recognize this moment? How do you know when your great transformation has truly begun? The signs are there, but they require a deeper awareness to truly understand. The first sign of awakening is a profound change in the way you perceive reality. It's as if a veil has been lifted, and suddenly you see things with a clarity that wasn't there before. The world feels more alive, more connected, almost as if everything around you is speaking in its own unique language. You start noticing the beauty in the simplest moments: a breeze brushing against your skin, the way sunlight filters through the trees, the sound of rain hitting the earth. These aren't just random occurrences anymore, they feel like sacred messages, reminders that you are deeply connected to the universe. You're no longer just existing, you're truly living, present and awake to the divine intelligence that flows through all things. Let me ask you something. Have you ever felt like the universe is suddenly speaking directly to you? Like every song, every conversation, and every moment seems to carry a deeper meaning. This is one of the clearest signs of awakening. You start to realize that life isn't happening to you, it's happening for you. Even the challenges you've faced, the pain you've endured, begin to make sense in a way they never did before. You see how every experience, no matter how difficult, has been a stepping stone leading you to this exact moment. It's as if your soul begins to whisper, "This is why, this is what it was all for." Another powerful sign of awakening is the sudden urge to align your life with your truth. This isn't just a passing thought, it's an unstoppable force within you. You begin to feel a deep discomfort with anything that isn't authentic to who you truly are. Whether it's a job, a relationship, or even a belief you've held for years, if it doesn't resonate with your soul, you can no longer tolerate it. This can be a difficult phase because it often requires letting go of things you once thought were essential. But with every release, you feel lighter, freer, and more aligned with your higher self. You realize that authenticity isn't just a choice, it's a necessity. Let me ask you, what are you still holding on to that doesn't align with your truth? Because awakening will demand that you let it go. And while this can be painful, it's also incredibly liberating. Each time you release something that no longer serves you, you create space for something new, something that is fully in alignment with the person you are becoming. This is the beauty of awakening. It strips away the false layers of your identity so that your true self can emerge. Another sign of awakening is an overwhelming sense of gratitude. This isn't the kind of gratitude you feel when something goes your way, it's deeper than that. It's a gratitude that comes from within, an appreciation for life itself. You begin to see how even the smallest things, a smile from a stranger, the taste of your morning coffee, the sound of birds singing, are gifts from the universe. This gratitude isn't forced or manufactured, it flows naturally from your heart. And the more you feel it, the more you attract experiences that amplify it. Gratitude becomes your superpower, a way of connecting with the divine and anchoring yourself in the present moment. But perhaps the most profound sign of awakening is the sense of purpose that begins to take root in your soul. You start to feel a pull, a calling, a knowing that you are here for a reason. This isn't about ego or ambition, it's about service. You realize that your journey isn't just about you, it's about what you can give to the world. Whether it's through your creativity, your kindness, or your unique gifts, you feel compelled to share your light with others. This sense of purpose isn't something you have to chase, it finds you. And when it does, it fills you with a sense of peace and fulfillment that you've never known before. Let me ask you one final question before we continue. Are you ready to embrace your awakening? Are you ready to see the world and yourself through new eyes? Because the moment you say yes, the moment you fully commit to your transformation, is the moment everything begins to change. Awakening isn't a destination, it's a process, a journey of remembering who you truly are. And as you step into this journey, you'll begin to see that everything you've been through, every sign you've encountered, has been leading you to this moment. When you finally step into your transformation, when the storm has passed and your awakening has taken root, something extraordinary begins to happen. Your personal growth, the journey you've navigated through discomfort, chaos, and enlightenment, starts to ripple outward. You see, your transformation is never just about you. It was never meant to be. The universe chose you because it knew your light, your energy, and your unique perspective could inspire change far beyond your own life. And whether you realize it or not, the moment you embrace your higher self, the world around you begins to shift. The first thing you'll notice is how your presence affects others. It might feel subtle at first, a conversation where someone suddenly opens up to you, a stranger who thanks you for something you didn't even realize you did, or even the way people seem drawn to your energy without knowing why. This is because your transformation radiates outward like a beacon. When you embody your truth, when you walk in alignment with your higher self, you unconsciously give others permission to do the same. Your energy becomes magnetic, not because you're trying to attract attention, but because authenticity is irresistible. People can sense when someone has walked through the fire and come out on the other side. They can feel the strength, the wisdom, and the peace you carry. Let me ask you something. Have you ever considered that your journey could be someone else's roadmap? Everything you've experienced, every challenge, Every triumph, every moment of doubt has given you tools, insights, and lessons that others need. Transformation isn't about shouting your story from the rooftops, it's about living it so fully and authentically that others can't help but notice. It's about showing through your actions and your energy what is possible when you choose to align with your truth. And the most beautiful part, you don't have to try to inspire others, simply being yourself is enough. As your transformation deepens, you'll also notice that your relationships begin to change. Some people will naturally drift away, while others will come closer. This is not a loss, it's alignment. The people who are meant to grow alongside you will stay, and those who aren't ready for your energy will make space for new connections. This can be difficult to accept at first, especially if you've held on to relationships out of loyalty or fear of being alone. But trust this, the universe is always working to align you with the relationships that support your highest good. And as you step into your light, you'll begin to attract people who see you, honor you, and encourage you to continue expanding. But let me ask you, are you willing to let go of what no longer serves you so that you can make room for what does? Because transformation requires space. It requires that you release the old so the new can enter. And as hard as it can be to let go of people, habits, or environments that no longer resonate, the rewards are immeasurable. You'll find yourself surrounded by relationships that feel effortless, conversations that nourish your soul, and connections that remind you of your purpose. These are the people who will help you carry your light into the world. Another way your transformation impacts the world is through the choices you make. As your perspective shifts, so do your priorities. You begin to act from a place of alignment, making decisions that reflect your values and your truth. These choices, no matter how small, create ripples. Every time you choose kindness over judgment, love over fear, or authenticity over conformity, you send a powerful message to the universe: this is the energy I want to amplify. And the universe responds by reflecting that energy back to you. Suddenly, opportunities appear, doors open, and life begins to flow in ways it never did before. This isn't magic, it's alignment. When you live in harmony with your higher self, the world around you adjusts to match your vibration. Let me ask you one more question. What kind of energy are you putting into the world right now? Because the energy you radiate isn't just influencing your life, it's influencing everything around you. Your transformation has the power to inspire change, not just in individuals, but in the collective. Imagine what would happen if more people stepped into their truth, embraced their light, and lived in alignment with their purpose. The world would shift, and it starts with you. Finally, one of the most profound ways your transformation impacts the world is through your ability to hold space for others. When you've gone through your own awakening, you develop a deep empathy for those who are still in the process. You understand what it feels like to be lost, to struggle, and to question everything. And because of this, you're able to offer compassion, patience, and guidance to those who need it. You don't need to fix them or have all the answers. Simply holding space, being present, listening deeply, and offering your light is enough. This is the gift of transformation. It not only heals you, but it also gives you the tools to help heal others. So, let me leave you with this: your transformation is not the end of your journey, it's the beginning of your impact. The world needs you, not as someone who has it all figured out, but as someone who is willing to show up, to grow, and to share their light. You didn't go through everything you've been through just to keep it to yourself. You were chosen for a reason, and as you step fully into your higher self, you'll begin to see that your transformation is a gift, not just to you, but to everyone you touch. The question is, are you ready to share that gift with the world? Because the moment you say yes, the ripple effect of your light will be unstoppable.